What's up, fam? Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there. Today, we are taking a look at a brand that we don't get a whole lot on the channel. This is a recent acquisition, and yeah, it is the, well, let's get that to where y'all can actually read it. The GM37 Biblio XL Blue G10, a knife that I have had on my list for a while. This knife has been one that's I have pined after for quite a while. And my good old buddy Darkwater had this knife, and then he popped it up as he was selling it, and yeah, me and him worked out a trade and a little bit of a trade plus cash thing, and I think he got a knife that he's going to be able to work with, and now I have a knife that I've been waiting for to have in my collection for so long. Absolutely love the Biblio line. I've always thought they were a little small for me, and this one has just kind of been that perfect size, and you know, we'll talk about that here in a little bit, but I really do enjoy the styling here. I like just about everything about this knife. There's a few things I would change if it were my perfect knife, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. And this is certainly a phenomenal knife. 3.2 inches on your blade length. I think your cutting edge is slightly less than that. I think they are counting it as a total blade length, not your cutting edge. 7.56 inches overall and 3.9 ounces. So you do get a little bit of that weight because it is a steel liner lock, and there's not a whole lot of weight relief on the inside of this G10. So if there was some weight cutouts in there, I think you would drop that weight just a little bit, but that may throw off the weight balance of the knife in general. But this does use Venetis 4E steel. They run that at approximately 62 HRC, so you got kind of a more exotic steel there. It is a Gens Anzo and Jesper design, named after the Biblio bar in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, which is actually pretty cool because that's where GiantMouse was conceptualized. That's where the brand was conceived by those two gentlemen, and a really cool you know, collaboration here on this company, and I really do like a lot of what they put out. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the close-ups of this thing. We'll talk about it more as we go. So really vibrant blue G10. It's a typical G10, nice and textured, contoured, chamfered, all of the good stuff. It feels very premium, even though it is a more quote-unquote budget material. T8 hardware all the way around. We do have a reversible pocket clip, lanyard love there. And that is I believe that is a G10 backspacer, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it is metallic. Let's see, let me get a driver that has a little bit of, yeah, I think that's either titanium or G10 on that. And we have, I think we have titanium hardware too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have titanium hardware as well, because it's just trying to stick like it's trying to stick to the steel liner. So anyway, sorry for that little detour. Now this one does have a Lynch Northwest clip on it, which is really nice. I love Lynch Northwest clips. Factory, it is a wire pocket clip, but you do get that Lynch Northwest titanium here, and you can use those. It looks like it fit without any issues. I don't see any modifications done there. Yeah, so I don't see anything cut out or anything extra. So looks like we are just a easy, just kind of easy swap there. Take a look at the blade centering. This thing is perfectly centered. I wouldn't expect much less from GiantMouse. I'm gonna put that in the center of the screen there. I don't know why I do that all the time. Tip looks good. Detent is really nice on this. Lockup is spot on. Lock bar access is not the greatest in the world. It's not horrible. It could certainly be better. It's not, like I said, it's not bad. I know there's a lot of complaints about that lock bar access. For me, like I said, I'm able to get the fat of my thumb in there. I don't have any real issues unlocking the knife. I guess I could see if you're fidgeting with it constantly, I could see where it might be an issue, but you know, I really don't. I really haven't had any issues with it so far. Really nicely done. What's really cool too here is on the actual finger choil here, the blade is contoured. The blade is rounded. So you can see that there, it's crowned, whatever you want to say. So this is super, super smooth and very, very comfortable in the hand. There's zero hot spot on that choke up grip, and that is fantastic. Too many times we get a finger tool here, and it's almost like it's an afterthought. It's squared off, it's uncomfortable. There's sharpness, and it just doesn't work. But here, you can tell that this grip was meant to be the grip, and that's further talked about, or further shown when you look at where your jimping is here. So having your jimping, the only jimping on the entire knife is out there where you're going to, when you're gripping this knife and this choked up grip, that's where your jimping is. So that is how, this is literally how this knife was meant to be handled. And I think that's just very smart on their behalf and very well executed. Now this is a pre-owned knife. I don't know how much Morgan used the knife, but it is a pre-owned knife. But the edge still feels practically new, so I don't think he used it much, if at all. I've only used it to open up a few packages, so haven't had a ton of time with the knife as far as use is concerned, but I have carried it quite a bit, and it carries phenomenally well. Plunge grind is done very well. As we just saw there, sharpening is done well. Sorry while I was rambling. It is kind of a sheep's footy blade here, which allows you to have some nice belly and then plenty of ability to get to that tip. Tip is still suitable for piercing. It's not the best in the world, but it is still suitable for piercing. So we do have that half jimping there, and we do have a 3/4 height flat grind on this Venetus steel. So no branding on the show side, and then on the clip side, we just have the Ace branding with the Venetus there. Really, really, really nicely done. Like I said, that plunge grind is sweet. Fantastic job on the plunge grind. I don't have any issues whatsoever with this knife. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if I am, I'll put it on the screen here. Almost hazard to say it, but I am like 90% sure these are made in Italy. Really well done knife. Just phenomenal. Like I said, the detent is so good. Reverse flicks like a dream. Even the flipper is minimum, so I really don't mind the flipper. And because of the way they did everything here, how it's all rounded, so when you get the knife in hand, it doesn't bother you. Normally I would say trim that flipper off, and then you have a really comfortable grip here because you don't have the flipper in your way. But the way they design that flipper and the way it sits in the hand, it's rounded and it works perfectly well. Have really no issues with that at all. So the only nitpick I have on this entire knife is the lock bar access, and quite honestly, because that's G10 right there, that could very easily be remedied. You could just kind of just mill that out a little bit, just sand this down just slightly, give yourself just a little more room in there, or maybe even just cut it in from the inside. But personally, this is more of a use knife anyway, so I would just kind of mill this down just a little bit, bring a Dremel in there, and just maybe make 2 or 3 passes and call it a day, and just sand it down by hand, kind of finish it out. But in the choke back grip, it's still very comfortable. The Lynch Northwest clip kind of disappears in the hand. I'm sure the standard wire clip would be the same, but that grip, it feels great. But like I said, the way this knife was meant to be handled, you can just tell when you put it in your hand. It's every part of it, just the way your fingers wrap around it, at least mine do anyway, the way my hand wraps around this knife and the way it fits in the hand, the way my thumb just hits that jimping perfectly, the way my finger just sits in there just right. This knife feels like it was made for my hands. It really does. And being that perfect 7.5 inch length, I don't, like I said, other than that lock bar access, I don't have a single complaint on this knife. Let's go ahead and jump into our hardware checks. I believe we are, like I said, T8s all the way around. Let's see here. Yep, T8 there. Everything is looking good so far. No wiggles to speak of. Yep, I'd say it's like a Toyga. Yeah, really, really, really good. I'm so glad to have been able to add this to the collection. So again, Darkwater, huge thank you to you, and make sure you guys go check him out if you aren't already. I'll have him linked down below. He's a much larger channel, so I think he's just recently celebrated like 5 or 6K, something like that. So huge congrats to him on doing that. That's a big accomplishment. So let's go ahead and continue on through here. So we've got the P's here. We got the Pyrite and the Penguin. both of these are, again, going to be in that similar size range. You guys know if it's a knife that's in my collection, I've talked about it 100 times, and I'll keep talking about it. If it's a knife in my collection and it's a kind of a mainstay in the collection, it's going to be in that 7 to 8 inch range. Of course, there are outliers there, but for the most part, 7 to 8 inches is the go-to for me. Checking out the Militol. Militol is going to be a little on the larger side of that, just north of 8 inches or right at 8 inches. So we're going to see that just being a little bit larger here on both the blade just slightly and then in the handle slightly. All right, then we'll break out the Bel Air, which again is going to be that same, pretty much that same length. Same thing here with the Malibu, and then the PM2 is going to be on the larger side. And then the MSI is going to be the largest by far. And there we have it. So yeah, I'm really interested to know what you guys think. I don't have any links for these guys or anything like that, so I'm just going to link. I think I'm just going to link the GiantMouse website down below. I'll see if there's any other retailers that I want to link. I think Smoky Mountain carries GiantMouse as well. They may or may not have these in stock, so I'll have them linked down below if they have any of the Biblio XLs in stock. But again, let me know what y'all think. Personally, I think this is a knife that's going to be a new workhorse for me. Going to be one I carry to work a lot and put in through its paces. So, especially with that Veneta steel, I know that stuff is a pretty solid option for a work knife. So, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. As always, please remember to be kind, be humble, and be EDC. Y'all take care.